The global energy system operates on a delicate balance of cost and benefit, a complex equation we assume is stable. But this assumption is incorrect. It only appears that way because variables change slowly over decades, but a single, sudden change to one critical number can destabilize the entire structure rapidly. Imagine the cost of utility-scale wind power, one of the fastest-growing renewable sources, doesn't just decrease, it collapses. Not by a few percentage points, but by a factor of 3. This is an economic shockwave that rewrites how we power our world. Starting the day, the new price becomes reality. This single shift immediately targets 3 foundational pillars. The first is the electrical grid itself. The second is global manufacturing, an energy-hungry sector relying on predictable, affordable power. The third is the transportation sector, after a century of oil dependency, now beginning its slow, expensive pivot to electrification. The consequences wouldn't unfold over generations. Capital and information move at nearly the speed of light. The established decarbonization timeline, toward 2050, would be violently compressed. What was a marathon becomes a sprint. Winners and losers decided fast. The initial reaction is financial. That financial shift quickly becomes physical. It translates into orders for steel, copper, rare earth elements, new factories being built, old power plants decommissioned early. The abstract number on a spreadsheet becomes concrete and steel on the horizon, changing landscapes and livelihoods. To understand the scale of the disruption, we must first look at the world's energy system as it exists today. It is a colossal machine, powered predominantly by fossil fuels. This system is not just a collection of power plants, it's a sprawling network representing trillions of dollars in existing infrastructure. Its inertia is immense. Within this landscape, wind power has been a rapidly growing but still junior player, contributing only about 7 to 8% of the world's total electricity. This is because its cost is already highly competitive. However, it doesn't always make it cheap enough to force the immediate shutdown of the existing operational fleet. A threefold reduction shatters this dynamic. It would be more economical to build a brand new wind farm than to simply buy the fuel for an old coal plant. This is the tipping point. The very first consequence is not felt in the physical world, but in the abstract realm of global finance. It triggers what economists would call a great reallocation of capital. Planned investments in new natural gas pipelines, LNG terminals, and oil exploration projects are frozen, then canceled. The flow of capital away from hydrocarbons becomes a torrent. Governments, seeing the undeniable economic advantage, rush to streamline permitting processes to attract this wave of investment. The abstract price change has created a gold rush, setting the stage for the physical changes to come. While new infrastructure rises, old infrastructure begins to die. This leads to a wave of premature plant closures. The constant low hum of the plant's turbines fades, leaving an unfamiliar silence. These facilities become stranded assets. The landscape becomes dotted with these industrial relics. They become ghost stacks, silent monuments to a bygone energy era. The economic shockwave travels backward, dismantling the entire logistical and extractive network that was built to support it. The system-wide impact begins with a profound recalibration of the planet's atmosphere. Air quality in and around major urban centers improves dramatically. This is not a gradual bending of the curve. It is a sharp, downward cliff in the data, buying humanity a critical resource: time. Yet, this positive shift comes with trade-offs. The sheer scale of the build-out required demands a significant physical footprint on land and sea. The clean energy revolution creates its own unique waste stream, a long-term environmental liability that must be managed. The economic shockwave continues to propagate. Energy-intensive industries begin to co-locate near major renewable energy hubs to tap ultra-low-cost power. Geopolitical influence shifts away from petrostates. The periodic table replaces the map of fossil fuel deposits as the guide to fortune. The new economic engine changes employment system-wide. The skills are different, requiring training in electronics, composites, and data analysis. The most profound long-term impact is the complete overhaul of the world's energy infrastructure. The grid must become smart, resilient, and flexible. The key to this new infrastructure is energy storage. Demand for grid-scale batteries explodes. With electricity becoming the cheapest fuel, the electrification of transport accelerates dramatically. Daily life becomes more attuned to energy availability. Life is scheduled less by the clock and more by the weather. The chain reaction eventually settles into a new, stable but altered state. The most enduring outcome is the establishment of electricity as a cheap, abundant, clean resource. This new equilibrium is not a utopia, but a recalibrated global system with its own distinct set of dependencies and challenges. The concept of a single, flat rate for electricity becomes a relic, replaced by dynamic pricing as common as a weather forecast. The world is no longer divided along the lines of oil haves and have-nots, but between the nations that master the technology of the renewable age and those that do not. The very success of the revolution has created long-term challenges. The first generation of turbines will reach the end of their lifespans and must be decommissioned. The harder sectors, aviation, shipping, heavy industry, still await their revolutions. The story of energy is never finished. The threefold drop in wind power's cost solved one of the 21st century's defining problems, and in doing so opened a new frontier of questions, leaving humanity in a better, cleaner, but no less complex world. What scenario should we explore next? Share your ideas below. You've been watching IfVerse, where imagination meets possibility. See you in our next reality.